Good morning to my dear students. Today we are going to learn chapter number 5, that is heat and its effects. So let's start with the topic heat. What is heat? Heat is a form of energy. It is also known as thermal energy. We can easily say whether the object contains heat energy or not merely just by touching it. If the object is hot, it means it contains some amount of heat energy, and if the object is cold, it means it doesn't contain any kind of heat energy. Now, heat energy and various forms of energy are interconvertible. Let's discuss it by some examples. First is rubbing of hands. Whenever we are rubbing the hands, we are changing the mechanical energy of the body into the heat energy. Next is burning of fuel. When we are burning fuel in automobiles, we are converting the chemical energy of fuel into heat energy. Next is electric heater. The electricity in the wires which used to come in the electric heater, it gets converted from the electric energy into the heat energy. And lastly, the powerhouse, the place where electricity is generated. There, the chemical energy, the heat energy of the coal is converted into the electrical energy. Now, these are some examples which shows that heat energy and other energies are interconvertible, which means they can be changed from one form to another. Moving forward, we will be discussing about the effects of heat. Now, there are various effects of heat on different kind of substances. Let's elaborate. First is the increase in the temperature. Whenever we are placing a utensil on a gas stove and when we start the gas, what happens? Slowly the utensils becomes hot. Now that because the temperature is getting increased, the utensil is getting hot. Second is expansion. You have seen many times when the milk is boiling, it used to come out from the utensil. How does it comes out? When we are providing heat in the form of temperature, the particles of the milk used to spill out because the heat is causing expansion in them, due to which the volume increases and the milk expands. Next is the change of state. Whenever we are boiling the water, we are changing the liquid state of the water into its vapor state. Next comes the chemical change. Nowadays, generally in the lockdown especially, we are seeing our mother cooking all the time in the kitchen. Now what our mother used to do? She used to just firstly cut the raw vegetables. After that, she used to put the raw vegetables on the gas stove and add some things into it. After some time, the raw vegetables are converted into the cooked vegetables. Now, what is the difference between the raw vegetables and the cooked vegetables? There is a difference in the odor, there is a difference in taste, there is a difference in the texture. Now, what is a chemical change? You have already learned in grade 6 that chemical change is a change in which a new substance is formed and that object or the product can't be converted back into the reactant form. Now, the cooked vegetable can't be converted into originally the raw vegetables by using any kind of thing. So this is considered as a chemical change, and here heat causes a chemical change. Next is the living organisms. Heat also affects the living organism. Let's see how. You have when you visit a doctor, he used to say that always drink water after boiling it. What is the reason for that? Water generally contains microorganisms which are not visible by the naked eyes. So when we are just heating the water, the microorganisms can't survive in any kind of in all the temperature. So when we are heating the water, the microorganism, because of the heat, dies and water becomes clear, due to which it is safe for drinking. That is why we used to boil the water. So these were the complete effects of heat. So next topic is expansion. We have already discussed this topic in the previous one, that how heat causes expansion. So we will be discussing it in depth here. When we are heating any substance, we are ultimately heating the particles of that substance. Now, when the particles of that substance is being heated, the particles start vibrating. Like if the particles are like this, they start vibrating like this. So when they are vibrating, they are actually increasing the average distance between them. and as the average distance between the particles get increased, they used to occupy more space and hence the volume also increases. So we will be learning this expansion in the state of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. So this is solid, liquid and gas. You have learned in grade 6 the basic difference between a solid, a liquid and a gas is the arrangement of particles. In the solid, the particles are very tightly packed. In liquid, the particles are far from each other, and in gases, they are very much far from each other. So when a solid is heated, the particles of the solid also gets heated, means they start again vibrating. Because the particles are very tightly arranged, they are not having enough space for the vibration. So they can't expand more because they can't increase their average distance. Next, if we see the liquid part. In liquid, the particles are having so much space between them. So when we are heating the particles of a liquid, they start vibrating, they increases the average distance, they occupy more space and hence the volume increases of the liquids far more better than the solids because in the difference of the arrangement. Now if we talk about the gas, a gas is having large amount of space between it. So when we are heating the gas molecules, they are having much space between each other. The average distance can be increased a lot. Hence, more amount of space can be occupied and the expansion can be at a larger rate. So if we sum up the whole rate of expansion, the gases expands much more than the liquid and the solids. This is due to the arrangement of the particles in different states of matter. Now we are going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of expansion. So let's start with the advantages first. This is an automatic fire alarm. This contains firstly a bimetallic strip. Bimetallic means bi means 2 and metallic means 2. So a strip which contains two metals. This strip contains brass and iron. Brass from the outer side and iron from the inner side. Always remember, different type of solid expands differently for the same temperature. For this setup, this is an electric band and this is a battery. So whenever there is fire around, this bimetallic strip gets heated and bent towards the iron part. As it will be bending towards the iron part, the circuit will be completed and the electric bell will start giving an alarm. After some time, when the fire is put off, the metallic strip will be get cooled and then come back to its original position. Second is metal caps. Generally, the glass bottle contain metal caps which doesn't open so easily. So when we pour hot water on it, the metal expands and the cap gets loosened, which can be opened now easily. Now moving forward on the problems related to expansion. This you can see the electric pole and the electric cables. In the summers, the electric cable used to expand and they sag down. Whereas in winter, they become tight and they due to the contraction. So if we leave some space between the wires of the poles, they will be getting space for expansion and contraction. Otherwise, in the winter, they will be contracting and they can lead to the breakage of the wires also. Second disadvantage is, you all know that the railway tracks are made up of iron, which is a solid and can expand also. So between the railway sections, always there is some gap left. Why it is so? Because if we are not leaving the gap for the contraction and expansion, what will happen? The metal will bend and this can lead to very serious accidents. The third one is with the glass tumbler. Generally, a glass tumbler has two walls. One you can see is the inner wall and another is the outer wall. So whenever we are pouring hot water in the glass tumbler, the hot water used to come in contact with the inner wall and doesn't come in the contact with the outer wall. Now because the hot water is in contact with the inner layer, what will happen? It will the heat will move towards the inner wall and it will cause expansion. Whereas no heat will be given to the outer wall. Due to this expansion here and no expansion here means the difference between the expansion, it results in the cracks. But nowadays, there is a special glass which is known as Pyrex glass. This Pyrex glass doesn't expand more when hot water is added into it. That is why there are no cracks. Temperature. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. You can easily tell the difference between the hot object and the cold object just by touching it, because one of the object will be hotter than the another object. Now the hotness of the object is totally dependent on the temperature. More will be the temperature, more will be the hotness of the body. Now the temperature is measured on 3 scales. One is a Celsius scale, another is a Fahrenheit scale, and the scientific scale is known as the Kelvin scale. We will be discussing here the Celsius scale and the Fahrenheit scale. If the temperature is measured on the Celsius scale, then the temperature at which the pure water freezes is known as lower fixed point, which is 0 degrees Celsius, and if the temperature at which the pure water boils is known as upper fixed point, which is 100 degrees Celsius. Next is the Fahrenheit scale. The lower fixed point on the Fahrenheit scale is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and the upper fixed point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So the relation between the degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit here becomes that 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 32 Fahrenheit and 100 degrees Celsius is equal to 212 Fahrenheit. Here is the conversion. How can we convert degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit scale? Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5 into degrees Celsius plus 32, whereas degrees Celsius is equal to 5 by 9 Fahrenheit minus 32. For example, if you need to convert 35 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit, then you have to place this value 35 over here. So by placing 35 here and solving it further, you will be getting answer 95. Whereas if you want to convert Fahrenheit into degrees Celsius, you will be placing the digit here, subtracting it first, then multiply and dividing, you will be getting the value in degrees Celsius. Our last topic is thermometer. It is an instrument which is used to measure temperature. There are generally two types of thermometer. One is a laboratory thermometer, another is a clinical thermometer, and the difference between both are the range is -10 to 110 degrees Celsius in laboratory thermometer, whereas it is 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius in clinical thermometer, or we can say that 94 to 108 Fahrenheit. No kink is present in laboratory thermometer, whereas kink is present in clinical thermometer. It is generally used in laboratories and it is used in clinics to measure the body temperature. Human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, or we can say 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Now we will be learning the structure of a clinical thermometer. This portion is known as bulb. This thin tube-like structure is known as stem, and the bend in the stem is known as kink. Both the scales, that is degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit scale, is present in clinical thermometer. And the metal used to measure the temperature is mercury. Whenever we are placing the thermometer in our mouth, the mercury absorbs the heat of the body, it expands and rises up. After some time, when we are removing the thermometer from the mouth, the mercury contracts and used to fall down. So to prevent that fall, there is a kink which is only present in the clinical thermometer. Lastly, are the precautions of thermometer while using it. Always wash the thermometer before and after the use. Handle it with care because it is very delicate. Do not hold it with bulb. Always keep the thermometer upright and always give the jerks to normal the mercury level. Hope students, you have understood the chapter really very well. Do take a revision. Take care. Bye-bye.